You are listening to the 2.5 Weebs podcast, a show where two veteran anime fans drag a newbie down the rabbit hole of waifus, isekai, and fan service, as well as the happenings in the gaming world. The show is recorded every Sunday live on the Mixer channels of Comfimus and Mr. Vengeance. Enjoy.
All right, everybody. Hello. Welcome back. 2.5 Weebs again. Missed a couple weeks. Hi. We are here. We have a bunch of extra episodes of Spectre to cover, as well as we watched the first 3 episodes of Babylon, which I watched 2 weeks ago. Not super fresh in my mind. I feel like I remember a lot of it, though, so I think we're okay. How have you guys been?
It's been a while since I watched Babylon as well, and most of Spectre, because I kept up with it. I'm not happy with one of these shows.
I think I know which one, because I was also very bored of it.
And the other one, I'm curious about, so I think I'm going to watch a little more of that. Other than that, we have The Plague going on, of course. That's new.
Super fun. It's not
Everybody's
fun at all.
loving The Plague. I don't think there's been any confirmed cases exactly where I live, because as we mentioned, I live in an island, so we have a little bit of a barrier in that regard.
Right.
But there have been some suspected cases here now, because of course we had idiots who decided it would be a good idea to go away while this whole thing is going on and then come back, because of course they had to come back, but they weren't taking precautions properly, and now it's like, oh Joe, you've probably brought the plague to our island. Thank you.
As is tradition.
I mean, that's going on. Comfy lives in a place where they're sheltering in place now, so that's fun.
We're not leaving houses.
Is that like just you guys choosing to do that, or is that mandated right now?
It's mandated.
Okay.
The governor of California on Thursday put out a shelter-in-place order.
Yep.
Basically stating if you are not healthcare, if you are not necessary hospitality, if you are not food, and if you are not a support business for any of these, then shut down, go home.
Like gas stations are open, stuff like pharmacies.
Gas stations, pharmacies, grocery stores, restaurants that can do carry out and delivery services such as DoorDash and Uber, as well as delivery services, and then like electronics shops that are meant to help businesses that are running from home.
Right.
So, like, I believe Best Buy is still open and other similar stores, but not
because they sell products and that. Here's one fun thing. A buddy of mine works for Staples, which is a supply place, right? He works in the department that takes orders, specifically the part that deals with sanitation supplies. Fun. This broke out. So as soon as this happened, everybody put a shit ton of orders in, right? So everything went on back order. And then they decided to cancel every single back order without telling people, except for those for healthcare. Then, in their ultimate wisdom, which means some big money changed hands, they canceled all the healthcare ones and put through orders for the U.S. Military instead.
That's wonderful. Steph's, by the way, telling me Best Buy is curbside only nationwide. So it's still open, but only to a certain degree.
Yeah.
Nobody's allowed inside.
Yeah. Makes sense. I kind of hope grocery stores do the same thing.
I
just
think
to protect staff, like put orders in, they bring your groceries out, put them in your car, and you fuck off.
Yeah, they're probably going to do that soon if they haven't already begun doing it in certain areas.
Well, up here, the big grocery chain I used to work for is installing in plexiglass guards to prevent people from actually talking, like anything that comes out of your mouth or breathe or anything like that from going towards the staff. at the cashiers. Now, a lot of our grocery stores also have self-checkouts, so you can just kind of, ring yourself through, which is a lot better.
Yeah, we have that too. When we have the plexiglass that you're talking about, we only have that in like neighborhoods that aren't super nice and they just don't want to get shot.
Oh, they're putting them in everywhere. They have hundreds of stores just in my province.
That sounds like a wonderful time and not at all like it's going to get messy.
Yeah. So that's the thing. I mean, like, if you have self-checkout, use a self-checkout. If you have to be out, try to keep 2 meters distance from people. If
Or
you
more.
can, there's a certain type of face mask you can wear.
N95s?
Yeah, N95s. Get one of those if you've got to go out, if you're, because you need to get groceries or because you work in one of the essential businesses that has to be open. Wear a face mask just to protect yourself. You don't know what other people are like.
Don't wear a face mask unless you're sick.
Yeah, it doesn't protect you from getting sick.
It will
It
protect
stops
you from spreading, though.
from spreading. So
And face masks are also only good for about 15 minutes. So after that, you need to put on a new one.
Also, if you're watching this or listening to this and like the coronavirus episode has passed at this point, you're fine. But like, that's what we've been discussing. We didn't specifically say what it was. So I figured
COVID-19.
people will figure it out, but
there was a guy who recently had an interview. He was a specialist in transmissible diseases. He's done work for WHO. He helped fight polio. He helped eradicate smallpox. It's an expert. His name is Brilliant. Literally, that's his last name. His last name is Brilliant.
That's awesome.
So it's Dr. Brilliant, which is fucking hilarious. So he's basically come out and said that, this is not the apocalypse. This is not the zombie apocalypse. This is not, the end of days thing. This is, however, a novel virus. What novel means in terms of viruses is that nobody on the planet has a pre-existing immunity to the virus, which means everybody's susceptible. That's why all these precautions are in place, because without them, a mass number of people can get sick very, very quickly. A good amount of them can die, especially those who are in high-risk groups. And on top of that, there's also the economic backlash that such a situation causes, where you're looking at $1 to $3 trillion worth of the economy going poof, right? Kind of much overnight, which is insane to consider, and would cause a massive, massive, massive recession, which is, we're starting to see glimmers of that with the stock market, like taking a massive hit. So
yeah, we
it's an interesting time out there.
We're doing great.
But as long as people are smart and safe, you'll be okay. It's just, take your precautions and stay inside and watch a fuck lot more of anime.
Yep. Or not. That's, we could just, we don't have to. I have to, unfortunately.
You have to.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yes.
So yeah, welcome to the anime podcast. We've mentioned anime once now, so yay. This week we watched the first 3 episodes of Babylon. I know Comfy you said you watched it yesterday, right? Like you're still real fresh on it?
Very recently.
Good. You can lead the discussion.
Oh, wow. All right, cool. As long as I'm not in charge of the Inspector ones, because I'm going to be lost as hell.
Dude, I don't.
The Inspector ones are not good. We'll get there.
There's that. That's a 5 minute. That's a 5 minute conversation, like for real.
It is very much a 5 minute conversation.
I have been watching anime. Just for people who are wondering if I haven't been, I have. I actually binged pretty much all of Beastars yesterday.
How is the furry show?
It is very much a furry show. It's okay. The main character of the show. Yeah, we'll get to that after the other things. We can bring this up. It's an interesting show, but oh fuck, does this trigger so many furry warnings? It's not funny. Side note: I named my Animal Crossing island Rabbit Hole, and we'll get to that too.
Nice. All right.
Why?
So,
why? Because there's censorship with Nintendo, and the word "hole" is not censored. And there's furries on the island, deal.
Oh, okay. Got it.
He's gonna go down that rabbit hole. All right.
God damn it. All right, this is
So-
it. This was
Here,
it. We're
I'm gonna
done. Goodbye.
Hold on. You think that's bad?
Podcast
Hold on.
over.
Oh man.
There.
Okay.
Do. Scroll up to the quiet place that only you two can see.
Oh no.
Oh no.
All right.
And upload this. So,
What happened in
interesting
Babylon?
note before we
Comfy?
start. You can make custom images and pictures and paintings in Animal Crossing.
No.
They're all pixels. They're 32 by 32. Now, if you have something like Photoshop and you set up a multiple board system, you can actually cut a larger image into 32 squares, and then piece them together
Mm-hmm.
on your island using QR codes.
Oh no.
Okay. I still don't know where this is going at all.
Well,
Why? Stop it. Get some help. It's not quite porn.
It's not porn. There's no nudity.
There is not. Okay, let me rephrase. There's no nudity. There is, however,
Oh,
a female
God.
anthropomorphized rabbit wearing very slutty lingerie with blue frills and bows. Is that better, Copper?
I feel like
That's better.
Addison needs to have that in his DMs. He would very much appreciate it.
I'm gonna show Addison once I have the thing set up on the island so he can see it himself.
Great.
We have been
Okay.
And
We have-
anybody who
Alright.
visits my island can also see it.
We've been here for
Um,
less than half an hour and we're already bullying Addison.
So this is going to be sitting on my island. So anybody who comes there is going to be forced to look at this thing.
Oh
And my
no.
island is called the Rabbit Hole.
If you have to classify it as technically not porn, it's probably porn. Tony, oh god, you should have seen Interspecies Reviewers. Holy crap.
We have a show for you, Tony.
No, don't. I don't think he even watches anime, but you know.
Oh, he's about
look,
to.
look.
No, he's not.
Watch one episode. It's
Yep.
episode 3. You don't need to watch the first 2. Watch episode 3. Come back.
Nope. 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 All right, Comfy, how's Babylon start?
So, Babylon starts out the way that every good show starts out, raiding a pharmaceutical company.
Yes.
So,
Wow,
the
is that ever
show.
poignant now?
What?
I said, is that ever currently poignant?
Oh yeah, this show also. The reason we're watching this, just for context, it was up for a lot of awards and won a bunch of them at the Crunchyroll Anime Awards. This aired in fall 2019, so it is about 6 months old. Coming up on that air in about 2 weeks. But so first episode, we meet our main character. He's a public prosecutor. His name is Seizaki. He's investigating drugs and drug companies with his good boy Fumio.
Who is
Now,
he like
Fumio-
is just a coworker, an assistant? Somebody
Yeah,
just a little bit down.
Looks like it.
just a little bit down
I
the
believe it's the assistant, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so they're like they raid this pharmaceutical company, they take all their boxes and everything, and they start checking, and then they find some blood stains, hair, fingernails, skin, and the letter F written like a crazy person was writing it, and they start freaking out. So, and they're like, wow, this is weird. Let's trace this. And they find some anesthetic, anesthesiologist.
Yep.
And they track him down, go into his apartment, but it turns out the dude set up a machine to kill him using an anesthetic and just slowly up the dosage until it's fatal.
Yeah. So
Which, by the way, doesn't take very much.
It really, really doesn't.
No.
That's why, anesthesiologists get paid big money.
that's the
And their
one
whole
thing
job
they
is to
do.
sit there and
That's
make sure
all
you
they
don't
do.
die accidentally.
That's
Yeah.
all they do. It's
It is one of the simpler jobs in healthcare, but it is also one of the most important and dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
So, basically, they find the dude dead, and they're like, "Well, I have no idea what's going on." They're looking into it, and they figure out that he has two people who visited him a whole lot. There's some weird woman and some dude, and the dude is an associate of the Secretary General of the Liberal Justice Party. So now they're like, "Okay, this politician is like really important and also linked into this stuff, and we got to go talk to him and try to figure this out because." the politician dude's trying to be the new mayor of the new Tokyo, essentially. Kinda new Tokyo, yeah.
Yeah, the entire setting is like an entirely new city that they're trying to build.
Yeah,
It's
it's called a Shiniki. They're basically building Tokyo 2.0 as a experimental zone.
Yeah,
so
it's
they
a test city, basically, if you want to call it that.
So they can use like experimental laws, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
which is interesting concept.
it's very it's well, the way they like play with it as well is interesting. So they find that it's this dude Nomaru. He's the candidate, and they're like, well, we gotta talk to him.
Mm-hmm.
So they split up. Fumio's following the first guy and the woman, and then our main character Seizaki is following just his own guts. I think at this point, I got a little bit lost when they were going around in the cars.
I think the assistant was tailing the woman, and
he
then
was tailing the woman and the dude that
no,
they
I think the
found.
woman just got in a car, and the dude that was with her was just a driver, and then the other guy was following the actual dude. I think. Like I said,
I don't know. I pulled up the wiki so that I could get like a more accurate reading, and that's what it says. And it doesn't feel right, but I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. But
like basically the important part is they split up, and then Fumio sends him a text that's like, "Hey, I love you, bye." And our main character goes to Fumio's apartment, and Fumio had hung himself.
That doesn't seem suspicious at all.
And they kept pulling the whole I don't think he would ever kill himself thing. But we'll get back to that later. That's the end of episode 1. Was it ended on him like hanging himself? And I'll be honest, I was kind of a little shocked at it.
Yeah.
I mean, they pulled the house card. Like, character randomly kills himself.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was good because I didn't have any like BS intro randomly telling me garbage that was like, oh, look,
the
this
house
character's gonna
card?
kill himself.
What do you mean pulled the house card?
I like the fact there's not a lot of hints.
The intro is also like 30 seconds
Why
long.
Why is it called the house card?
The house move?
Yeah.
Do you remember the show House?
Yeah.
Okay, House MD. When going through the seasons, once he gets the new set of intern helper doctors,
when
one
the
of
show
them
stopped being good.
Yeah. I like these guys. I did like this guy in the shorter doctor. One of the doctors, the Indian, when I forget his name, he's also in the Harold and Kumar.
Oh, I know
movies.
who you're talking about. Yeah, I remember this.
Really like
yep, I recall.
I can't remember the actor's name.
Yep.
Was my favorite character of the new Doctors, and randomly, like the start of one episode, he kills himself.
Yeah, I remember this now.
Like he commits suicide, and it's just completely out of the blue, and it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And all the characters are like, what the fuck? And House doesn't believe he committed suicide. He thinks that somebody killed him.
Yeah.
Because he refuses to believe that, he didn't notice the signs of massive major depression in this person he worked with all the time and had high hopes for. And then, when they go through the episode and that, and House eventually breaks into his apartment and is looking at photos, and you can see in the photos, like, where people are happy and laughing and that, he looks depressed. Like, he looks sad and lonely and just, and it strikes us that,
and I don't like it.
He missed the signs, and, because he did, this person who he worked with and probably could have saved the life of died.
Right.
Which is something that always really, really hurts House as a main character, because he hates when his patients die or the people around him.
Yeah, but I mean, that's also House just being House and being arrogant. So,
yes.
Yeah, so Fumio, who he was shaping up to be the best boy of this show. He was so cute.
He was very wholesome.
Which is probably why he got murdered.
Oh, yeah, he was like the adorable character, which is great, because he was the one who's like all naive and nice and like, oh man, I couldn't have seen this coming.
Like, straight up, that's why they killed this guy. Like, it's the shock value on top of it. It's like, oh, I like this guy. He's, he's the counterfoil for the show. And then it's like, he dead. And you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, no, he was just, they just straight up were like, bonk. So he got. Our good boy Fumio is outie. So Now, on to episode 2. Our good boy, Seizaki, our main character, was like, nah, he didn't kill himself.
Yeah, he was
That's
talking with
crazy.
his bosses in his boss's office or something in the beginning.
Mhm. The common thread is nobody believes that he killed himself.
Yeah.
And he goes and he questions a woman who was seen with the random dude visiting the politician. I'm really good at naming conventions here, as you can see.
We're never good with names. We never
We're
are.
awful with names, and this show does use actual full Japanese names.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so it makes it a little harder.
Also, the part later on where it's going to be like, oh yeah, all these 3 characters were the same person, it just gets weird.
Yeah.
So I'll be able to
exactly.
consolidate that a lot more easily. So he's interrogating this woman. He's like, what is wrong with you? Why are you lying to us? What are you telling us? And she's just like, Lamau, I didn't do anything. He's like, well, did you have sex with these men? She's like, yeah, but that's not your problem.
Yeah, that's not illegal. Like,
Yeah, because they were suspecting that one of the politicians was using prostitutes to like bribe union dudes in construction field.
That he was violating voting laws.
Right.
That was the big that kind of like turned me off the show in the first episode, because it was like, we're gonna be finding out about this dude violating voting laws. He's buying votes from popular politicians with pornography and nudity.
No, prostitution. It's not the same.
You don't know that. Well, actually, it was voluntary, so it's not prostitution.
I mean, she said it wasn't prostitution, but either way, it was bribery with
with sex, which is illegal. Yeah.
Yes.
And then
bribery of any sort is legal. So.
Yes.
And then our guy's like, well, hey, can you sign this statement saying that all these things are true so that we can arrest this dude for voter fraud or whatever? Or for vote manipulation and cheating and lying and all that fun stuff. So, and she's like, yeah, I'll do it. Because why not? This makes no sense with my character. I'm going to do this. It makes sense later on. I swear. And all she wants in return is for him to tell her about his life. Do you have a wife? Do you have any kids? Do you have anything of value? You know, not like she's casing him for murder or something. He basically he had what, a wife and a kid?
I think so. I think you said that.
Something like that. Like it very quickly glosses over it, and we haven't seen the wife or kid yet in the game or in the show, so it doesn't matter. And then let's see what happens next. He continues to investigate and figures out that the politician that he was investigating and like one of the people that there's no chance that he's gonna win as mayor are connected. And when he goes to superiors to talk about it, he finds the politician that he's investigating like sitting there hanging out. He's like, yo, what's up? And that's the end of the second episode. The third episode basically is the politician is like, all right, here's the deal. We set up this entire situation so that we can get this younger dude elected and he can be in charge of the entire city. Now, the entire city's an experimental zone and we can push him as the new face of it because he's only 30 and he will be able to aggressively change and move the world forward by using this special district to adjust laws.
Right.
So not only was there like voting fraud, they rigged the entire election.
Which is a much bigger issue.
And like, what's funny is every single time that our public prosecutor is like, all right, well then, what about this woman? I have seen pictures of her. We need to like hunt her down. And he's like, okay, yeah, I'm on the same page as you. She's like a menace. Also, this woman, this picture, and that chick you interrogated, same person. Don't know how. She's like changing skin or something. Like we hit altered carbon levels on the third episode. So
yeah.
There's also an altered carbon show, animated show up on Netflix.
There is. I haven't watched it because the dub is bad, apparently.
Is it bad? Sad.
I watch things with subtitles, and if it's Japanese animated and English dubbed, then the subtitles are wrong, guaranteed. because they do direct translations from the original dubbing, which is the Japanese dub, and the English dub is a translation and localization as well. So I watched the trailer for it and almost had an aneurysm with the subtitles. So, and this is a 30-second trailer on Twitter. I do have to say it looked beautiful and it looked well done, and I'm interested to see what they're doing with it. I'll watch it and figure out. All right. So they rigged the election. That one chick was the same chick, and now they're all freaking out. It's like, what's going on? I don't really understand. And
Which
then
is the theme of this show, by the way, for people who are wondering.
They get a call from one of their buddies who's like, hey, listen, I've been investigating that anesthesiologist that killed himself and the drug that he was making. It's an anesthetic. It's called Nux. I don't know why they called it Nux.
Yeah, yuck. They're making
probably
jokes.
Yucks.
God damn it. Not right.
Not right now.
I hate it. God damn it.
Dale hates
loves
that
it. That's
goofball.
why.
I do love it.
That's what he hates. He hates the fact he loves it.
So they figure out that this anesthetic was designed to be a painless death drug, essentially. You go to sleep and you don't wake up and then you die. And as they're doing this, all public, they're currently trying to find the guy who was elected mayor because he just disappeared off the face of the planet about like an hour ago, and they can't say, well, we need to find the new mayor because he's currently like the spotlight, and the police will freak out and cause a
massive panic. Yeah.
So while they're sitting there trying to figure out how to not cause a panic, the TVs all switch on and they're like, hey, look, there's a bunch of people on top of these towers in the middle of downtown. And the mayor's there and he's like, hey, I just think what we should do, right, guys? Right. Okay. I have a plan. We need to kill ourselves. And we shouldn't be afraid of death. And then everybody jumps off the tower and the episode ends.
No. There was the drug. That was the drug made it so that they would kill themselves. Like, no. That wasn't it. The woman had the ability somehow to make them do it.
The woman was like allegedly like leading people to suicide, but they don't know how.
Yes. So like it's hinted at that she has some sort of like ability to make people do that, which is how he discovered that yes, his assistant had ran into her and had probably actually killed himself because of it. And the same with the anesthesiologist. And wasn't there another person? I think there was one other before that. And then as well,
she's basically forcing people to kill themselves, which is actually still murder.
Yes.
So.
And of course, right before the whole thing is broadcast. Like you see the new mayor, he broadcasts the whole thing where he's like, and these people are gonna lead us, yada yada yada. We're gonna. What was the reasoning behind it? Killing ourselves for salvation? It was like.
He was talking about like
population control.
I
don't know exactly. So basically, the mayor is like, "Yeah, this was me. I basically had a lot to do with convincing 10 people to jump off this giant tower and kill themselves."
And now we're all gonna do it.
And I was interested in the show, and then that last thing kind of ruined it for me. I'm just like, I don't care. I'm over it. Cause like, all right, listen. Nobody in their right mind is going to see that speech and go, yeah, okay. Yeah, that's fine. This guy can stay mayor. Everything is fine. That's bullshit. It's not going to happen. Like everybody's.
You don't know that. You're not.
Interesting fact. So, and this came out to more of the public's knowledge, thanks to a Netflix show. The broadcasting of people who commit suicide and whatnot is more likely to cause other people to commit suicide.
Sure.
So, him doing it on, TV and that, is probably actually going to lead more people to committing suicide.
Yeah, but that being broadcast is automatically going to make like people are not just going to follow this guy then. Like it's not that can't end well for him. Politically, you know what I mean? Like
I think it's going
silly.
to end with an oof splat. Honestly,
yeah, I'm pretty sure he did today.
Well,
it definitely was interesting. I can tell you that much.
Like, this is a very... I know from everything we've heard about this show is that it has some very twists and turns to it. So I'm curious to see where they're going with this.
I'm really not super. I don't know. Like that whole like look at me, look at the super evil villain thing. It seemed way too over the top for me, and I'm just like, no, I'm over it. I was interested in seeing where it went, but then that happened.
That might be on purpose, though, right? Like, if you really want to distract people from what your actual goal is, make them think that your actual goal is something else.
I guess I get it, but I'm still just like whatever about it. I don't know. It's not something I'm gonna watch any more of, probably. Granted, there's like no show that I've watched any more of for months now.
For a while,
besides what we have to watch for the show. Like we always do talk about it, and I guess we'll bring it up again. I usually don't like anime, so.
Yeah, Dale is very, very picky.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're gonna have to start watching a lot more shows.
Why?
Now that we're all stuck inside forever.
Stuck at home.
I think my wife just poked her head in. And it sounds like she says it sounds like Ohio's giving the stay-at-home order. So I might have more info in a few minutes. I don't know.
Yeah, if they're doing that, you might be home for a while, Dale. Though she would still be going out, wouldn't she?
Probably. She's in the medical field. Yeah.
She works.
She's actually about a year and a half ago, she underwent some training for some like quarantine stuff that she had volunteered for. So like, she's now just like, I fucked up. Shouldn't have done it. But like,
it's like, shit. Well, you might get paid more for it.
Yeah. So we'll see.
I did. Oh my god.
Like, I know the nurses here.
Seth says as of 5 minutes ago, you're stay at home. Oh, all of Ohio? Okay. I'm not looking forward to the.
Okay.
I'm not looking forward to the overtime when I go back to it. But hey.
Yeah. So well, there might not be a lot of overtime when you go back because the businesses you're serving are probably going to shut down for the most part too.
Yeah, we'll see.
So Dale, I want you. I'm gonna post this in the Weebs chat. This is a meme that I found for you weeks ago, and I wanted to give it to you, and it's no longer relevant, but I just still wanted to give it to you. For the chat at home, it's a map of the U.S. and Ohio's like highlighted, and it says breaking news: Ohio quarantined, not because of coronavirus. It's just a shithole.
Until April 6th, Seth says.
Oof.
That's 2 weeks.
That's about.
That's two full weeks. That's 2 full weeks.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Because that makes sure that you know if you have the virus or not, right? 2 weeks of quarantine.
That's 2. Honestly, 2 weeks wasn't enough.
No, it should probably be 3 to 4.
Well, the thing is, because
people were able to go 2 weeks and then after that exhibit symptoms.
Yeah. Well, and that's if you exhibit symptoms. We know for a fact that there are atypical carriers as well with this virus. For those who don't know, an atypical carrier is someone who exhibits no signs whatsoever of the virus. Like, they do not get sick, but they are a carrier, and they can pass it on to other people. And because they don't know they're carrying the virus and they are not actually like physically sick, they actually infect more people because they think they're fine.
If let's give a very quick example using 2 people here. So Copper, you would be more or less at risk for catching some sort of disease like this, right?
If I get this virus, I'm in a massively high risk category. If I get this virus, I have it's about a 1 in 5 chance of dying.
Versus me, who is I'm younger. I have a stronger immune system because and I'm not immunocompromised, and I'm currently taking steroids, which also boost my immune system. I could exhibit no symptoms whatsoever.
Yeah.
Like that is entirely within the realm of possibilities, and Copper would have.
We compare it to Dale. Dale has something like, given his age and relative health, about a 0.89% chance of dying from the disease. So you have like ranges of 20% to less than 1%. That's how this thing works.
Like it's crazy, and even then, we don't know exactly how myself or Dale or Copper would react to it because we don't know.
Yeah, and for anybody wondering why the fuck do I have like a 20% chance of dying, it's because I'm immunocompromised, I have a heart condition, and I have asthma. And I'm also close to 40, so I'm in a much higher risk area.
Yeah, it's different people have different situations. And also, like, a lot of people are being really, really dumb right now and going the whole, like, oh, I'm young, I'll survive. It's like, no.
All those fuckers went on spring break.
Oh my God, yeah.
I want to punch them all in the throat. A really large chunk of the hospitalizations right now are people aged 30 to 50. So,
Yep, because those are people who don't fucking listen.
Also, anybody who's saying that it's millennials doing it, no, it's Gen Z. Go blame Gen Z. Don't blame
It is Gen Z. It's not millennials. Millennials are staying the fuck home. The people that are actually having trouble with who aren't staying home are Gen Z and fucking boomers. Because the baby boomers like, you can't tell me what to do. This is a free country. It's like,
yeah.
No, Grandpa, stay the fuck home. Like, stop, please. They actually arrested a woman up here recently in Quebec, the first of its kind, for knowingly breaking quarantine. She knew she was infected, right, and was still going out into the community, like on purpose, like go about her daily activities and stuff like that. So they issued a bench warrant for her arrest, and she's now in police custody in a hospital. Because fuck that lady.
All right.
Yeah, that's kind of garbage. Okay, so who wants to cover Inspector?
Well, what did you guys think of? What do you guys think? Would you recommend the show? Like, even though I didn't like it, I'd still recommend it because, like,
so
it was cool. But like I said, until the ending just left me in such a state of disbelief that I'm just like, no, I don't want to watch it.
I think it's going to go good places. Knowing that it's award-winning and stuff like that, I think it's going to go good places. So I definitely would say stick with it. If you like mystery shows or shows that have like a lot of twists and turns and stuff like that are hard to predict, definitely watch this show. It's going to be right up your alley. The animation, like everything is good about this show so far that I've seen, except we don't know where the story is going because it's one of those shows, be it animation or otherwise, where it's hard to predict what's going to happen. So that's the only place where things might get a bit iffy. But other than that, no, I'd say this is a good show. Recommend, try it out.
Sure.
I mean, fuck, you're probably stuck at home anyway, so let's give you something to watch.
We are going to be the most important because we're going to be explaining to everyone.
Well, free entertainment is going to be on the rise, right? So things like streaming services like Netflix, stuff like that, Twitch, Mixer, all this stuff is going to go up because people need something to do,
right?
When they're kind of stuck at home. And
can I drop the hot meme really quick about the blaming gaming for internet?
Oh my fuck, I saw that. Yeah, it's like the internet's going slower. These gamers need to stop.
We've been doing it all
just quick drop on that. It is totally fine to be like, wow, the internet is slow. We all need to slow down. But we should know what we should be slowing down and not just blaming people randomly because they're doing stuff we don't like. Doesn't matter if you don't like gaming. Uses significantly less bandwidth than your neighbor or significant other using Netflix in the other room. Now,
yeah, that's what's causing everything slowing down. Is
even worse.
Streaming has gone up. Like everybody's home. Like everybody's home. People don't have anything to do. A lot of people can't work from home. So you have people who are working from home causing clogging of the bandwidth, and you have people who are just sitting at home fucking watching Netflix all day, right? So yeah, internet's going to be slower.
Really quick stats. Most games don't go over 100 megabytes an hour. Destiny 2, which is the most data heavy game that I've seen, is 300. Netflix standard definition is 3 gigs an hour. So if you want to blame somebody, blame the person who is a factor of 10 over. Now, it's not saying piss off and stop watching Netflix. You do you. Just if you're going to get mad at someone, don't get mad at me. Thanks.
Yeah.
Actually, do get mad at me because I'm sucking up all your upload speed. But that was just such a dumb thing.
Yeah.
It is.
Also, GameStop being essential. Holy shit.
Holy fuck. Okay, let's touch on that before we get into inspectors. So for those who
hey,
who
really,
don't know,
let's cover Inspector really quick.
It was
yeah, okay, all right,
I feel
okay.
like we're going
Spectre
super
doesn't take long. I fucking
Exactly.
hate this show.
yeah, I'm over it. It's boring. It's boring. Nothing
This show
fucking
has
happens.
not gotten any better.
It got worse.
It
3
actually got worse.
episodes where
Like-
nothing happened.
Like
Nothing.
I watched
The
them all back to
girlfriend-
back and was like, I like from the very beginning, like they left it off and was like, all right, we're gonna fight Steel Lady Nana. And I was like, finally, they're gonna do something. And
that fight takes 4 fucking episodes to conclude.
between the supercuts of Kuro getting his ass kicked and the other chick just like sticking a
Typing on a
knife in her
keyboard,
own
yeah.
neck, like
it's
you just get exposition of, but what if this happened? It's like, well, we know that didn't happen and it was stupid. It's like, but I bet I
What
could
if?
convince them that it
Yeah.
did.
Basically, what happens in these 3 episodes that we watched was you have blonde goddess lady who is typing on the laptop, giving
Aggressively.
people ideas of why the Steel Lady Nanase ghost is bullshit. And then on the other side of the coin, you have Immortal Bro's immortal cousin typing, trying to convince them that yes, she is really a ghost. The whole time you have going on Steel Lady Nanase and Immortal Dude fighting each other, and he dies like 5 times. I don't know. It doesn't matter because he keeps coming back to life.
Yeah.
Listen,
You
I
have
played
3
Sekiro
episodes.
and I didn't die that many times.
You have 3 episodes of this shit that could have, like,
it could have been 1 episode. This
it
really
could have been
one
one.
episode.
Could have been
It-
one
it
episode.
was-
This was almost guaranteed 1 chapter in the manga.
it was
This does
boring
not
as fuck.
conclude until the end of episode 11.
It
like-
was terrible.
It's so fucking
was-
bad.
I've been so nice to this show for no reason.
It started off with a good premise, with a good pacing, and then it's taken this. It took that weird fucking little turn. You're like, okay, but things are picking back up. And then it's like, oh, we hooked you. You think things are picking back up? Let me kick you in the nuts here a couple of fucking episodes.
Hey,
Like,
but you know,
holy shit.
but you know what? That means that next week is going to be our last episode of it, and after that, we're going to need to find a new show to watch.
It better fucking be the last episode. This is a 24 fucking episode show. I'm gonna lose my shit.
We're not doing 24 episodes of this. Trust me.
Okay.
It's Cherry is in my chat saying it's 12. So
Oh, thank fuck.
Thank fuck. Yeah.
all right.
This is a 100% do not recommend show. Do not
Yeah.
watch this show.
It's
You will
boring.
be bored and is a waste of your time.
Yes. Very much so.
Like, this is probably the most disappointing show of this season because it had a lot of buzz. It started off pretty decent, and then it has a really good, interesting premise, and they just kind of pissed it away.
Yeah.
Where have we seen that before? What's the fuck of that naming of that fairy show?
Oh God. Yeah, Fairy
Fairy
Gun.
Gun, yeah.
Where
Same
we
thing there,
literally
right?
had the same exact problem. It's
Yeah.
impressive almost.
Yeah.
Like, it's a good
We're a-
premise, decent
we're a
animation,
cursed
except for the
program.
computer animation part.
Concept's
you know-
cool. Execution's fucking terrible.
Yeah. And both these could have been really cool, interesting, standout shows. No, no. If you've got time, you really need something to watch. Go watch Interspecies Reviewers. At least it's animated nicely, and you never know.
I
you
have
might
the
like it.
Penguin Girl on my phone now, and it's cursed. It's so cursed.
Yeah.
Dude, the Penguin Girls are cursed.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, we don't recommend this show. We're not going to go through the episodes
Don't
one
watch
by
it.
one because fuck all happens.
Literally, okay. Hey, I'll go through the scenes one by one. Kuro gets punched. We have a lie. Kuro gets killed. We have another lie because the first one didn't work. Episode ends. Maybe it was her sister. No. Here's another lie. Stab myself in the neck. Oh no, it didn't work. I'm grasping at threads. It's working. It's not. Here's a picture of a painting and there's red cracks in it. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Look, it's all about her boobs. I'm sure. No,
Oh God.
wasn't.
It was.
All right, that's it. There you go. It is the inspector covered. Like,
Okay. So
that's literally, I just wanted to. If we do that now, then we can drop pot meme.
now the issue.
The only interesting thing in those episodes, that lie, is basically when she basically blames the murder of the police officer on the other police officer. That's it. Like,
And then
that's
she
the only
gets like really
interesting bit.
mad. She's like,
And then she
"Wait
gets
a
pissed about it.
second. This is clearly me. No, it's not. Yes, it is.
And
Yeah,
what we
100% is
can
actually her.
talk about how earlier in this season she did the exact same thing with the giant snake god thing,
Yes,
and that
yeah,
was
it's
one
just
fucking
a
episode.
repeat of that episode, except they drew this.
Except it's a different
fucking
scenario,
4 episodes.
and it's a bunch of bullshit.
When that happened, we literally called that such a weak episode too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they're like, okay, you thought that was weak? Here's
Let's-
4 episodes length of it. It's like, oh my fuck, why?
Oh my fuck!
Like,
Why? Yes.
Did they run out of material? Like, what the fuck?
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know, man. But hey, there we go. So we're gonna have to look and see what shows aren't canceled next season.
Okay, one that's a kind of a meme too. It's actually a thing because a lot of shit is actually being delayed.
It was kind of a meme because ReZero season 2 got canceled, and I could not give a shit if I was paid to.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's also not a meme because ReZero got canceled because of what's going on right now.
Yeah,
And
a lot of things
because-
are because animation studios, they kind of work on top of each other, so they're not essential. So most of them are actually shut down.
Either shut down or working from home, in which it's
Yeah.
very, very slow process because everything needs to be like approved. So everything needs to be sent in digitally, approved, and digitally sent over to the next person and approved, and et cetera, which is so much more difficult when you can't walk around and be like, oh, hey, this works.
Mm-hmm.
So things are going a bit slow in that regard. So, it's the same thing with normal TV shows as well. A lot of them are being delayed because filming has been, put on hold, such as like The Witcher, stuff like that.
Hey, but really quick, but you want to know what show finished filming?
The Mandalorian.
And did you see who they cast?
Oh yes.
Ahsoka, yeah.
I'm kind of
Yes.
annoyed that we now know that Ahsoka will be in it, but at the same time, I'm fucking ecstatic because like Ahsoka's
don't know
badass.
We don't know what
How she's in it.
capacity.
Yeah, we don't know what capacity she's in it. We
Sure.
just know she's still around, which is cool. We
But
know
that
she's still
actress
alive.
is going to be a good fit.
Oh,
That actress is going to be a good fit.
Yeah.
Here's the thing:
be awesome.
Disney is going to get boycotted because of choosing her.
Why?
Why?
She and her family are up on charges and being investigated for beating a trans person, literally holding the person down and
What?
beating them.
What
Yeah.
the hell?
That
So
is
that's
news.
the thing that's going on.
How do you...
Because as soon as she was announced as the character, the LGBT plus community went livid because she's being
Oh.
investigated for literally holding this person down and having her family beating them while she's calling them names and spitting on them.
I did not know about that at all. That's
Neither did I until they lost their collective shit.
That's
not good at all. Jesus.
No.
sounds almost unreal.
Yeah.
Yep. Unfortunately, it is something that occurs, and I
Yeah.
hope it's
no.
not true, but sweet fuck.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
hmm
Yep.
So yeah,
All right.
I'm
we're
also sure that a lot of
0
people
for
won't
2
care.
on the show. Well,
We-
no, me personally
Vinland
0 for
is
2.
great.
But
For these ones, we are okay. We're
Babylon
not
was
0 for 2
okay,
because
but I just didn't like it.
Interspecies Viewer wasn't a bad show. There are people I would recommend that show to, and I wouldn't recommend anybody for Inspector.
Okay, now Nate, since we started doing this weekly episodes that we cover, we've had Vinland Saga that was good.
Vinland Saga, and I still say Interspecies is good. It's just a very select person to watch.
We
that
have
show.
not had a season. No, we've done what? This is essentially the third episode, the third show that we've done this one. We have had one season where we
Fourth.
didn't have to. Was it
This is
4?
the-
We did Fairy Gone.
We did the Fox show as well.
No. We started with Fox.
Fairy-
We started with
Oh my
Fox show,
God.
ended up at Fairy Gone. So that's the first time we watched the full season. The second time we watched the full season was Vinland Saga, right?
But
Yes.
we watched 2 seasons of Vinland Saga.
We did, yeah. We
Well,
watched
technically that was season 1.
24 episodes, which is basically
But it's still season 1.
2 seasons of
Two anime seasons.
yeah. We
Oh,
watched 2 anime
okay.
seasons of.
And then now we started with Interspecies and then swapped to this show, which is also bad. So this whole
Now, we
thing.
didn't swap because Interspecies was bad. We swapped because it's not appropriate content.
Copper is dead
very
set
clear
that
Interspecies Reviewers is a good show.
which
It is a good show, but it's
no.
not appropriate content for this show.
I,
So
I feel like
There's a difference between something that is objectively bad, such as, the Fox show.
That is also based on
no.
opinions and shit. So like, hey, yeah. So like, I don't know. Do we want to continue doing this bit? I'm not sure.
I don't mind it. I mean, it's like every TV season out there, right? There's always good shows and bad shows.
Yes,
hard
I understand.
to catch the good ones.
It's also, but every time we've committed, minus the one time we've committed, and then we'd had to shift gears because we committed to something we didn't want to keep committing to, and it's happened more often than not now. Because we're still covering the show, and we're all just like, "Fuck this! It's terrible."
Well, at this point, we have one episode left.
I understand, so we'll finish this one, and then I think we need to decide if we want to continue to do it.
Reevaluate of how we pick a show, because we've been picking at random.
We've been throwing a dart at a board and figuring it out.
Yeah, which is probably not the best way of doing this. So now that we should probably reevaluate to see how we're picking a show to follow along. And if that doesn't work out, maybe ditch the segment and do something else. Like we could always use the time to focus on a short anime show, right? Like the ones we don't cover because they're only like 5 or 10 minutes long.
Mm-hmm.
Like Space Patrol Lulico.
I guess.
It's a Trigger show. It's like it's one of those like 10-minute short shows.
I was thinking of Bikini Warriors, but sure.
So,
of course you were.
Anyway, do we know what we're covering next?
No. I really don't know what's. So I mean, there's B-Stars. We haven't looked at that, but I've binge watched that. We can talk about that in a minute. Let's see what is out there. Just a moment. Okay, so other ones we were thinking of. Well, this was mentioned today. So B&A, which is a new show that's coming out from Trigger, I believe. They dropped a bunch of episodes, so we can get a head start on that. There is the Doro. That's the one with the guy who's got the lizard head.
Okay.
That show is still there. What else is there? I've heard things about Invaded. If it's,
I've heard really good things about Invaded. Also, we haven't watched Darwin's Game yet.
Yes, we haven't. Oh yes, fuck. We were gonna watch Darwin's Game.
I forgot about that. The only reason I remembered that is because one of the people who keeps telling me about Invaded also watched Darwin's Game.
Okay, well, there is Darwin's Game. We were talking about that before, so that's
B&A is
one to go with.
Netflix, apparently, as well.
Yes, B&A apparently is Netflix, which is not awful. I mean, I think we all have Netflix.
You tell me to watch a show on Netflix or Hulu, and I'm excited because I can actually watch it on my couch.
And even if it's not on my Netflix, because I have a different Netflix, you guys do because of
Yeah.
I
can't get it yet in the West.
I can still watch it online. I have a place to watch it online already.
So it's on Japanese Netflix right now. They're doing the week to week there, and then they're gonna batch release it later in the US.
B&A already has 2 episodes up on the site I use. So it is definitely something we can take a look at later and get a drop on watching. Not something we normally do. Because it looks interesting. I don't know if you've ever seen clips of it. More comfy than Dale, because I know Dale doesn't watch clips of anime. It does look like a very interesting show, and I do love the frenetic animation that Trigger brings stuff.
Mm-hmm. I like Trigger. They make good things.
They do.
And Darling in the Franxx, but they make good things.
Right.
I like Darling in the Franxx, but
I like the first 23 episodes.
Okay, I will give you that. The fucking ending of that show is awful. Man. Really bad.
Why don't
it just like the first 15 I was like sold. Then like the next like 9 or like
things
8
started getting
like,
weird. Yeah.
It started getting like, okay, weird. I'm like, I'm less into this, but I'm still committed. I gotta see how it ends. And then I saw how it ended. Mm. But so yeah, we have a couple things we can look at right now.
Why don't we watch that Darwin's game? Because apparently we'd already discussed it. So
Yes.
All right.
was on our
Darwin's
radar.
game. We're playing Pokemon Go Fight Club.
yes, so that'll be next week,
Yeah, basically, yeah, that is kind of what the show is.
and then we'll be
finishing off Inspectors. Thank fuck.
Yay!
Um,
yeah, I'm really
all
not
be
into it.
done.
Not into it. Just it's like we've mentioned about 8
Disappointing.
times. It's a cool
Disappointing.
premise, terrible execution, and not fun. So very boring.
All right, so should we start the extra anime discussions on fucking GameStop?
Yeah, so
God damn it.
GameStop basically was told, "Hey, you're not an essential business, to stop."
Yeah.
And they were like, "Lamau," but they were told retail businesses are not essential.
Right.
Yeah, which they're not.
Basically,
And their response was, "We're essential retail."
Yeah, so what GameStop did is they sent out a memo to all of their stores telling them to remain open, even if they're in states where it's supposed to be things like mandatory closing, shelter in place. You are to
If
go to
the
work. and
government tells you
be
to
open.
close, you are to disobey the government. They said.
Yes, if the government's, it literally says in the memo, if the police come in and order you to close, you are to refuse and direct them to call this number at head office because we believe that we are an essential business for these reasons, which are fucking bullshit reasons. And
Yes.
as such, we have the right to remain open, which, by the way, will not work with the police. If you refuse to close, they will arrest you and close the store themselves. Like, just lock the damn thing. So, yeah, that's something that they're like, blah, like, this is what we think. And it's like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
This is shortly on the coattails of GameStop making a big old PR post saying, "Look, we care. We're gonna make a big PR post, and we're giving all of our people hand sanitizer and cleanliness stuff to make sure that the stores are clean." And man, hey, Copper, did 99% of those stores see any of the supplies that they were promised?
Nobody saw anything. On top of which, then we had the massive releases of, on this Friday, of Animal Crossing and Doom, Eternal. And we had an insane number of people lined up outside of these stores to get the games because they stayed open to deliver the physical copy pre-orders. Which,
even though they had A, been told to cancel them, B, said they were canceling them, and C, had been told by Bethesda that they can give the game out early because they care.
yes, but that's just like, here, take
Bethesda's
the game
being
early.
the good guy here. Like, what year is it?
Yeah.
It truly is the end of the world. But, like, Bethesda was like, "Listen, you guys can give the game out early, like, because otherwise people are going to get, like, hurt.
Yeah,
Probably
like,
just smart to just do
'cause-
this, be done."
lines, you're actually super close to people, much closer than you're supposed to be. And you're close to them for probably hours on end. Like, these lines were massive lines, like hundreds of people in them.
Yeah.
Time and places. So, yeah, another reason to say fuck GameStop. Like, they needed to fuck another one. Like, sweet Jesus, just go bankrupt
Yeah.
already.
Yeah, it's pretty scummy. Like, I like to go to GameStop to browse at the collectibles and shit, but that's just like, wow, that's a joke. That is a joke. They're not even essential they're not even essential in the fucking games industry, please.
No,
Fuck
they're
off.
not. That's the thing. They're like, we're an essential entertainment business. Like, one, entertainment is not an essential business.
No.
It's why.
Hey.
Well, it's not. Like, it's
Huh?
to be fair, it's not.
I'm joking.
So, like, I just don't understand what the fuck the reasoning was. Like, I cannot comprehend the idiocy
ready
behind
for the
this.
reasoning? GameStop's so far in the red, if they close now, they'll never open back up.
It's probably true.
Yeah,
That's
that
probably
literally
why
what
it is.
If they close and nobody shops there, which is going to happen because people are going to be ordered to stay home, and will simply get arrested on their way to GameStops, they're going to go bankrupt, like full on actual never open again, gone out of business, bankrupt, which
is totally fine by me.
is, according to GameStop, bad for the whole industry, which fucking well isn't. Like, it really isn't. They're a scummy side of the industry, and nobody is going to be sad to see them gone. The only thing I'm going to be sad about is it's going to be harder to get collectibles if you live near GameStop or, the equivalent store that they own in your country, because they're called different things.
EB Games and
so forth.
All the other shenanigans.
That's the only thing I would ever buy there was collectible stuff, right? Because I don't know about where other people live, but where I live, if I order games online, aside from Nintendo, I don't pay tax. So, and where I live, the tax rate on purchases is 15%. So, I don't know, a 15% savings straight off the bat from, sitting on my ass, basically, rather than driving to a store and paying gas and whatnot for it is pretty nice. Like I don't have to be around people. I don't have to get dressed. I can just sit on my ass and download the game the day of or the day before, when rather than trying to get a copy at a store that might sell out.
Right.
So, for example, Animal Crossing right now, even if we were able to go out and go shopping, chances are it'd be completely sold out. Just because it is first of all, it's Nintendo, and Nintendo games are highly sought after for physical copies. No other games really are, but Nintendo has cartridges. So
yeah, the thing is that I don't buy digitally, but I always want to buy the cartridges for the Switch because you don't have to fucking install them. Because they have such a really tiny memory card, so it's
yeah, exactly. But I was given money to buy Animal Crossing, and I was able to, during my stream, purchase the game, download the entire thing, and then I was streaming it before my stream was over.
Yeah, it probably didn't take long to do that, so that's cool.
It took an hour to download.
Right.
Yeah. It took mine a little longer to download.
I had better internet than you.
It's because the girlfriend was using the internet. I was streaming, watching, I think I had 3 streams up running at full quality. Plus I was running a couple other things and online gaming myself. So my internet was hey.
Stop beating me.
Calm down. Thankfully I live in a place that does not have internet limits, and that's not thanks to the whole virus thing, with internet companies doing the good guy thing, which is fucking surprising, and removing limits on people.
I haven't lived in a place that has internet limits. I can't imagine it, honestly.
I have. It's one of the reasons that there's a big internet company, telecommunications company here in Canada called Rogers. They are banned from operating in my province by the government, provincial government, because one of the reasons being is that they impose limitations on internet service. They also have a horrible history of undercutting local smaller businesses, telecommunications businesses, taking a loss on business until it drives them out of business, or so far down that they just basically purchase them for nothing, and then jumping the rates to 2 to 3 times of what they were and imposing limitations on them. So because they have a history of this, our provincial government said, fuck yourself, get the fuck out of, you're not operating in your province. Which was kind of nice. So we don't have to deal with shitty internet providers.
Sure.
Man, I wish my life were like that.
No, your country is divided up into monopolies.
Oh.
Which are not quote monopolies, because we don't coordinate with each other, because fucking right, you don't.
They coordinate with each other.
Just magically don't operate service in my area where this other person does. Sure.
They literally discussed it in court records, saying they coordinate with each other, and they still are just oh, you're good.
Yeah, that's supposed to be illegal.
Yes, for so many reasons.
But I am happy though that they removed restrictions from people, because otherwise I cannot imagine the bills people would be getting. I'm hoping, I'm happy, that the governments are putting in place things such as, relief funds and stuff like that for those people who are forced to be out of work or get temporarily laid off during this time.
Mm-hmm.
I know quite a few people who are going through that and are worried about things like rent and things like that. So
Yeah, there was a. Ooh, hey, speaking of companies that we want to shit on for being bad people because we're keeping track. Hey, UK hotel chain. Britannia. You know what I'm
Sorry.
talking about?
no, I accidentally kicked my dog. I didn't realize he was laying under my desk.
How
Hi,
dare
buddy.
you?
I don't remember the exact hotel's name. I believe it was the hotel. Yep, Britannia was the hotel chain. So what they did, they had staff that's living at their hotels, right?
Yeah, a lot of hotels do.
Yeah, because it is very it's pretty easy for the staff to work if they're living there, and they get paid with room and board as well. Like, that's great.
Yeah, they usually get paid a little less in monetarily, but they also get free room and board, which is
great. Now,
anybody who pays their own bills knows that's a huge chunk of your income for bills.
So that'd be great and all, right? Now the hospitality business is deemed as unnecessary,
Yep.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So what they decide to do?
Oh no!
What?
Exactly that. They fired every single one of their employees and evicted them.
Jesus.
During a quarantine.
Which means it's impossible to get lodgings anywhere.
They have no jobs and no money.
They have no income, which means you can't rent a place. You have no job. Plus, it's a quarantine, so it's not like
you can go anywhere.
It's not like you can go stay at a hotel because the hotels are fucking closed.
Mm-hmm. And so then, in their infinite wisdom, the hotel then came back and said, "Oh, wait, that was an accounting error." And I want to. No. It gets better. They said that it was an accounting error, and there was a fully written letter, not only saying that it's due to COVID-19, but that they are taking their own precautions and that they want everyone to be safe. And it was full of all the management BS that's like, we care about you, but we clearly don't.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
While they're straight up evicting these people from the only room and board they have and screwing them for the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
So, hey guys, if you're going to the UK, don't stay in those hotels. Keep track.
Now, I know some employers up here have temporarily laid people off.
Yes.
And the reason for it is because that way they qualify for EI. So they get unemployment insurance if they're laid off, right? So since our government announced they're waiving what is normally a 1 week waiting period to qualify for EI, a lot of employers went, you're temporarily laid off for this period of time. That way you can qualify for this government payment, right? Which is like, their jobs are still safe. They will have their job back after the quarantine is over. It's just during this time, since they can't, the business can't afford to pay them, the government will, which, isn't a bad move.
Oh, our government's just doing insider trading. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I saw that, and holy fuck on that.
Well, yeah, let's just
especially the one lady who's like the wife of like one of the stock exchange people. It's like, you're fucked. Like, please. Like, how is this?
We're having a great time. This is the end of the world cast, by the way. Welcome everybody.
Mm-hmm.
End of the world cast week 1. We'll get the weeks 2 and 8 eventually.
Oh man.
I have deep concerns for any activities that were supposed to be planned for this summer as well. Like, I am not holding out hope for GCX this year.
Not happening.
Even if they run it, I don't even know if I'll be able to go because our border's closed.
Yeah.
I don't know when it's opening again. Like, I literally cannot travel to the States even if I wanted to.
I also feel like there would be a lot of people that would still be like nervous about traveling and wouldn't want to go.
Oh, there's going to be a ton of people who are going to be nervous about travel, and for good reason.
Yeah.
We are 14 to 18 months off of a viable vaccine at this point.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, which means you are about 18 to 22 months off of herd immunity, which is what someone like me basically needs there to be for a disease like this, since of my higher risk. So herd immunity basically means that 70 to 80% of the population is immune to the disease, which is generally done through a factor of getting a vaccination for it, or already having had the disease and getting over it, in which case you are generally immune. There have been no cases of anybody being reinfected as of yet, which is actually a really good thing. So, like 22 months, that's almost fucking 2 years. Like,
yeah, no, it's
so like not only this year, but next year might be iffy in terms of me being able to go as well, right? Just from a health standpoint, I might not be okay to fly or something like that. So
yeah,
because there still might be quarantine restrictions in place then, not as strict as we're getting now because they're trying to flatten out the curve, but enough that international travel may not be back to what it is, have been before this. Now there'll still be a online event for GCX. There'll still be like the marathon and stuff like that. I know for sure.
Yeah,
but I don't think we're going to get a physical event. Is what I'm betting on.
We're almost guaranteed not.
Yeah, not when everybody is still being quarantined until like April.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to end in April, though. That's the thing.
No, I think it's going to be extended past April. I think they're just doing April. So they basically didn't come out and say, hey, you're in quarantine until June, which would freak the fuck out of people, more so than just being quarantined for 2 weeks does. Right? So I expect the quarantine to go
I don't
longer.
understand. Like, God, if it ends up being a quarantine that lasts that long, I don't see that going well.
Oh, of course not.
It's going to be hard.
This is
going to be hard.
Well, the as I had mentioned earlier, there's that expert, the guy they did the interview with, when he predicted the economy taking a $1 to $3 trillion hit, that was years ago. Like, to the point where, nowadays, like, they were only predicting like 165,000 deaths. The current predictions are over 250,000. So if you look at the economy at that point as well, you're probably looking at like, I don't know, $3 to $6 trillion gone from the economy. Like, we're going into a recession. Like, during this and after this, we are definitely 100% going into a recession unless the governments decide to inject a fuck ton of cash and somehow get people to spend money, which means deferring taxes and stuff like that for a longer period of time, because that's something they've done as well. Like, things are going to get weird. But yeah, it's the cost isn't just in human lives and health. It's literally in the the economy, and everything that comes along with that is going to take a hit as well. I mean, look at gas prices. If you haven't been paying attention to them, Saudi Arabia and Russia are in a fucking trade war over gas at this time, which means normally that would drive gas prices down a bit. Wouldn't be a bad thing. During a recession, it basically, like during the quarantine, it basically means that they're driving prices down so much. Some experts are predicting that they're going to go negative in cost, which means there's going to be so much extra fucking gas that they have no place to store. They're going to be basically paying people to take it.
Oh yeah, and I'm very excited about that because my only other source of income right now is DoorDash. Because I started doing that like 2 weeks ago, like before everything like hit the fan, and now it's like, hey, the only place you can get money right now is doing delivery driving. It's like, well,
yeah, I mean, like, if you want to start a business right now and have the means to start up a local delivery thing for like just whatever, like groceries, anything like that, like stuff that you can pick up and deliver for people, you'll make a good bit of money
Yeah.
right now.
Absolutely.
Like, and it's not even something you need to continue with after everything's over. It's just for this time period. That's all you have to run it for.
Yeah.
I mean, especially if you're currently laid off from your normal job, right? Like, there are ways to make some money. They're a little more curtailed than normal, but they're still out there.
I don't want to, spend the whole podcast doom and gloom,
Well, it's not so much doom and gloom. It's just this is what's going on in the world.
I understand, but it's a lot of not great shit going on in the world right now. But what about video games? What's been going on in video games?
We've had.
Speaking of Doom,
well, let's not talk about Destiny. We've had 2 massive releases.
Is Animal Crossing wait, it's been a while since Animal Crossing has come out. When's the last Animal Crossing game?
It has been 7 years.
Okay, I've never played one. My wife has been loving it, so that's cool. It looks like a fun game. I'm just not something I could play it. My wife had it. Like, we might do some co-op stuff.
2012.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
November 8th, 2012.
So yeah, it's been a while since we had Animal Crossing. And yes, the Animal Crossing community is enormous and insanely dedicated to the game. Like, there's people who are still playing the new Leaf game up until the launch of this one. Like,
Got it.
Like, it's that type of community, right? They're hardcore fans.
They are. I saw the best post, which was comparing the 2 games that came out in their communities. The Doom community was like, play the game at your own pace, take your time, find the Easter eggs, play on easy mode, just have a good time. And the Animal Crossing community is like, this doofus doesn't have 80,000 bells on day 2? What a loser. Get good.
Worse, it's like, are you fucking changing the time on your machine to speed the game up? What the fuck is wrong with you? Everybody, look at this person. They've changed the time on their machine to speed the game up instead of doing it at the pace that the game is trying to make you go at. Fuck this person and everything they've ever stood for.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't cheat.
They are insanely mad about people who alter the time on, like, the Switch or anything like that to push the day ahead. Because Animal Crossing, for those who don't know, is tied to an actual day-night cycle that coincides with the actual time of day it is, as well as your actual season. So, depending on where in the world you are, assuming you tell the machine that you're in the place you are, because you have the choice of being in northern or southern hemisphere, you can choose. It will keep everything to the time of day that you're at. So if it's nighttime where you are, it's nighttime in the game. Right. And the hours and minutes coincide with the actual time.
And the game resets each day at 5 a.m.
Yes. And because the game is, on a goddamn machine that you can change the time on, you can actually push the game into the next day if you want to. If you do so, don't tell anybody in the Animal Crossing community. They will crucify you.
I would also recommend not doing it just because Nintendo has, like, a way they made this game to be played.
If you want to do it, go ahead. I don't care. I'm not going to tell people how to play their own game.
I'm not telling them to do it. I'm just recommending.
Yeah.
Like, listen, if you're going to do it, I'm not going to be able to stop you, and I can't say anything to change your mind either way. But I can tell you right now that you will cheese through a majority of the content of this game and then not be able to use it as long as you want to get entertainment. And considering we kind of all need a lot of entertainment in the next coming weeks.
That sounds like the Destiny community.
It's exactly what it is. No, it's exactly what it is.
Yeah, it's every hardcore gaming community. Like, that's...
Yeah.
Listen, pushing through content super fast is fun. But if you get suddenly pissed off, there's nothing to do.
Well, look at how much content, like, you've consumed. Like, honestly, take a look and go, how much did I play? If it's 200 hours in a fucking, in 2 weeks, guess what? It's not the game's fault.
Yes.
Like, the game had the content there, you just consumed it all already.
Yeah.
I mean, I fully upgraded my Warmind day 1 of Season of the Worthy, and I was mad at myself.
I'm like halfway done with mine. I haven't been playing as much Destiny.
I have not even started.
I don't know.
I've been playing a lot of Destiny.
There's
like the
nothing
new
in the Destiny season
stuff
currently that I care about. So now, if the leaked rumor of the exotic is true, I'll jump on and grab that. But that's about it.
Cool. So
I just don't want to talk about leaks in it. So for people who are trying not to be spoiled.
Also, Doom Eternal came out on the same day Animal Crossing, and it's been
on the same day.
It's been really funny
with
seeing
a much more wholesome community.
The crossover
Doom community
memes is hilarious.
Like way less toxic than the Animal Crossing community, oddly enough.
That's
amen.
Weird.
Yeah,
a little bit, but I'm into it. I think it's great.
But also remember that the Doom community has a lot of metalheads in it, and metalheads by and large tend to be very nice people. They are a surprisingly nice community. If you're ever looking for a good community, the metal community is very open and friendly.
They're surprisingly soft.
Yeah, they really are.
They've lived soft lives.
The new game is now. I don't want to talk about civics too much because I know Dale is looking forward to playing this and is avoiding information.
Yeah, I'm avoiding stuff. I'm gonna play it in a week or two, and I just want to.
The game is way faster paced than Doom 2016, which is if you've ever played Doom 2016, you know how fast that game is.
Loved it. I'm gonna play Doom 2016 before Eternal, and like just to do like a today. I'm gonna play Eternal, and then whatever. Yeah,
they ramped up the pacing. There is a lot more content in Doom Eternal, so that's always interesting. There's and something I will note for those who pick up Doom or see it, everything in Doom Eternal is free, despite the visual appearance of what is similar to normally season passes somewhere else. It is actually free content in the game. It's just every time someone sees something like this, they assume, oh, this must be paid content. It's not. It's free. You just unlock it by playing and doing challenges and stuff.
I really want it, but
I've been watching. So the Doom games are. I played the original Doom games way back in the day.
Yeah.
Because I'm old.
I didn't play them way back in the day, but I did play them.
I haven't played the old ones.
The new ones don't appeal to me in terms of I want to play these, but they're one of the games I enjoy watching high-end FPS players play. Also, Broman's playthrough is quite nice as well.
Wow, that's some white shade right there. Really quick. I like watching high-tier FPS players. Also, Broman.
Okay, now, Ben himself is like... So the other person I've been watching is Seagull. Ben himself will tell you that he is not in the same league as someone like Seagull. The playthroughs are very, very different in terms of overall tone. If you want to have like a chill stream where, Ben freaks out a little bit every so often, go watch Broman. His streams are great, especially when he's high. Like the last few streams he's been doing of Animal Crossing when he's fucking baked out of his mind are hilarious. But the Seagull stream, like watching Seagull play that game with the mobility that you're capable of in a game like Doom is fucking insane. Like watching me be able to zip around and do things, like it's nuts.
That's why I want to play it so bad. I love movement-based games.
Like what was that? That bad BR, the one that was a lot like too much like Quake. It was so fast-paced.
The BR.
Realm Royale.
Wait, no.
The one that was made by the bad man.
Was it Cliffy B who made this one? I think.
Are you talking about Radical Heights?
Yeah, that one.
No, not Radical Heights.
Well, that was the BR. Are you talking about Outlaws? Wait, is it Outlaws? That wasn't a BR. That was kind of like
the arena shooter. Sorry, the arena shooter.
That was, what is the name of that?
The Lawbreakers.
That's it. That's the Beast.
Yes, that.
It was also made by Cliffy B.
Yeah. So that one is a like
it was a bad game.
That wasn't a good game because of the style of game it was. Given the time that we're looking at it coming out,
it wasn't a good game. It was not.
If that had come out, 15, 20 years ago, it would have had an audience, 100%. Nowadays, no. But
I just want to point something out really quick. Lawbreakers had a garbage dev cycle, a garbage advertisement cycle, a poor release time, a poor release, and a bad game as a whole. Like the gameplay, if you look at it like objectively, they tried to do the class-based thing like Overwatch, but they also tried to do it. They tried to do like an operator thing, but also class-based. And the game had a couple characters that were fun, and then some that had no place, but they just wanted to fill out their roster, but they didn't have enough good ideas. It was not good.
I didn't.
Yeah, the game had problems. No, it's the only reason I mention it is because the movement in that game is incredibly frenetic, especially if you have someone who's super skilled FPS playing. And so I watched Seagull play that and just dumpster on people. And he was not kind to the game either. Like he himself said, this is not a good game, like to put out. It's not the style of game gamers are looking for. He's like, your audience is like the target audience of something like this is super, super small nowadays. And it doesn't even really include people like him. He's like, yeah, I'm good at the game, but it's not something. It doesn't like. He's like, it's not something I would seek out and play anymore unless I wanted to feel play something that was basically kind of nostalgic.
Yeah.
Right.
Also, just in Animal Crossing news, I just found a bathtub in a tree.
Good job.
Nice. Yeah, you can find furniture in trees in that game. It's
something.
I mean, you could build furniture out of trees, so why not?
Yeah, but like non-wooden furniture in trees.
It's a ceramic bathtub.
That's true.
Yeah.
Listen, I was trying to assist. Okay.
Have you found your money rock yet, Chumpy?
My money rock?
Yes.
Should I not break the money rock?
You should hit it with a shovel to get all the money you can out of it. Yep. The first thing to do though is once you find it is dig 2 holes right behind you. Then turn around and hit the money rock. It'll stop you from being knocked backwards.
Oh, that makes sense.
Which actually makes it faster to get more money out of it because you have a certain amount of time to get all out of it you can, right? So.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. I'm still figuring it all out as I go along. I did get some cherries though, so that's cool.
Nice.
So I have oranges and cherries and coconuts.
Nice. I gotta get a different type of fruit as well.
What do you have? You have pears?
I have cherries. I specifically
cherries. Okay.
So I restarted my island a couple of times.
Yeah.
Because I was looking for a decent like flat area to build a giant picture on. And I was also looking for an island with cherries and an island where my 2 starting people were not ugly as fuck.
Oh, see, I rolled the dice and we went.
Got it.
Well, the first island I got where I rerolled, it was a really ugly female character and a male character that to me seemed like a giant stereotype. It was a rabbit that had slanted eyes and was named Genji. So I was like, fuck no.
No I need healing.
Nope. So I got rid of that one because I'm like, well, this character is ugly. This character is weird. And I'm like, nope.
Yeah.
So now I have an island that has...
I got a yellow hamster and a purple frog.
Yo.
I have a hamster named, I think it's Hampton as well.
Is he constantly talking about working out?
He's a little workout hamster, yeah.
Yeah, I have the same guy.
And well, your first 2 characters you get on your island are always pulled from the same 2 types of pools. So the male character is always from the jock pool, and the female character is from this other pool that's got like a Japanese term for it. So those are always your first 2 characters. I just love the fact when he talks to you, he calls you Hammy.
He does. It's great.
It's so like, bro, he's like, hey, Hammy. Yeah, it's just this little nickname he's got for you. My other character is a solid black pig who's got this one white stripe going between her eyes down her nose.
Nice. I did find a drunk Donald Duck on the beach though, so that was cool. Let me go see if he's still there.
I went and did all of my first manhunt stuff in Division 2 that I could do.
Nice.
So I got that done. I got to wait another week for the next one to do, but I did get it done. I had been
I
slacking.
haven't tried the new league yet.
Have I tried the new
you-
league? No.
You know what came out between? First of all, I've Donald up on my screen now.
There
It's
he
great.
is. Yeah. Nice.
You know what came out over the past couple weeks was Call of Duty Warzone.
That's fun.
Oh yeah,
That's
that came
also
out
very
too.
fun.
It's so much
so
fun.
That's super fun. We should
Free-
play some of that at some
Free
point.
BR. For those
the best.
wondering,
It's the best battle royale right now.
It is.
Yeah,
It is.
probably the best battle royale right now.
Yeah.
I know that certain larger streamers who are major BR players and FPS players have called it probably the best BR released to market.
I listen. I suck Respawn's dick for breakfast talking about Titanfall and Apex Legends.
Yeah.
I hate Infinity Ward with a burning passion because of what they've done to Vince Zampella and all the people at Respawn. Warzone is an incredible game.
Yeah.
And they're kicking ass, and they dropped better than Apex. It's more accessible. It's faster time to kill actually feels good in it. The armor system's not garbage. I like that I don't have to stock up on healing items every single day, and I don't have to deal with weapon attachments.
Right. I love it. It's nice. It's fast, it's smooth, and like there's no UI to fuck with. I love it.
It's
super good.
just easy.
Yeah.
Like I have not spent any time in any menus. The only menu you have is holding tab to drop stuff for your friends.
The only critique of it that I really feel like needs to be addressed is the gulag sticks around for maybe 5-10 minutes longer than it should.
Yeah,
That's it.
Yeah, that should be
I've made
adjusted
it
either
very
to
far in games and then got to the gulag.
I dropped with a pistol in the last 2 or 3 rounds, like last 2 or 3
Yes.
circles, and I'm just like, why the fuck am I redeploying right now? Oh god.
Yep, I've seen
Yeah.
Tim do that and win a match.
Yeah.
And he, like, honestly, if you're knocked out that far into it, you probably shouldn't be coming back in.
Because
There was, I think,
yeah.
like, it was literally, I think, besides Tim's team, he was playing with Ben. I think
Mhm.
2 other teams that were left, and there was still time to come back in. Like, it was
Yeah.
that ridiculous.
Yeah,
So
no,
it really needs to be tied to
it's
either
like
a tighter time limit,
19-minute timer.
or, and probably both actually, it needs to have a population limit.
I
Like,
think
it hits
population
this-
line is the better pick.
Well, I think both would be good, because if you have a really long game, you kind of want to turn it off still.
Yeah, but
and-
the timer that's running right now is for a really long game.
It's
It should
20
still probably be
minutes.
shortened.
It should be like
Yeah, so-
10.
Leaving that timer in is okay,
Mm.
but put in a population cutoff as well. Like, if it hits this population, no more gulag. Like,
No,
that's it.
I feel like a time limit would be fine, because if you die in the first 10 minutes, I feel like, because then it's like pretty much
Yeah, that's what I mean.
basically
Have
right
them
on
both.
drop.
Yeah, have them both, right?
I guess.
Both is
I don't, either one would be fine. Yeah, I guess.
Because that way you have something in place for super long, grindy games where people are camping too much, right? And then you also have something in place for the super fast, frenetic games that occur where people are playing, like, super, aggressive.
Yeah.
That way, both needs are met. And, if you don't trigger the population one, not a big deal. You only trigger the timer one. That's okay. You only trigger the population one, not the timer one, also stay okay.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
just a redundancy system in case
Sure.
games
I
go
see
this
what
way
you're,
instead
I
of
get
that
what
way,
you're
right?
saying now. That makes sense.
Yeah,
So yeah, cool.
But, like,
Video
that-
games.
Warzone's been really good.
Lots of video games that are fun to play. So that's cool. Comfy went flawless twice, 3 times now. So that's
I've
cool.
gone,
Also-
I've gone 3 times now, and the worst part is that the 2 mercy cards that I did would have been confidence cards if I had them unlocked at the time.
Nice.
Heyo.
There is also a new.
Message for the title, which I'm working on.
It's kind of like CS, I guess, more than any other shooter.
Oh,
it's
you
like
talking-
mixing.
Valorant?
Yeah,
Is
mixing
that out
CS
now?
with
Wait,
like.
is that can we play a beta or something now? Or
Well,
soon?
no, I don't think the
but-
beta's out yet.
Okay.
But we've had information come out for it.
Oh, I'm gonna
the
be playing
thing will
that.
run
That
on a
looks fun.
toaster.
That looks fun.
I'm
It
not a
looks
fan of the
really good.
I'm not a fan of the art style, personally. But I also know why they went with it.
Because it's
They
gonna
went
run
with
on a
it to-
potato. That's
yeah,
why.
They literally is going to run on like the oldest of systems.
Yeah.
Because that's what they're aiming for. They're
Yep.
aiming for getting as many people in to play the game as possible.
Yep.
Which makes perfect sense. From a game point standpoint. So
100%. Because if it's going to be free to play and an incredible
Yep.
ease of access because you can run it on anything, then yeah, dope. Yeah, I will be playing that for sure. That looks very interesting. I will be checking out whenever that has like a beta or something.
I'm very excited. I don't like games by Riot, but this one looks really, really good.
What is that game called? Project A right now?
It's Valorant.
Valorant. It has an actual name, yeah.
Okay, it was Project A for a while.
It was Project A for a while.
Yes, it was.
When it was
it
announced,
was
it was just Project A.
Yeah, they've gone through their alpha and stuff already in that. So
they've made it to marketing,
Nice.
which is what they've been putting on social media, and they had like Dr. Lupa to play it and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, it looks interesting. We have a
checking
new
it out.
hero in Overwatch as well. That's something else that occurred.
yeah, her name is what? Echo.
Her name is Echo. She's one of the characters we've known about for a really long time. So she finally actually came out fully. Her ultimate is fucking broken. And I expect her to be tuned down. Her ultimate right now, when you cast it, can only target the enemy team. So you can't do this to your own team. But it turns you into a copy of the character you target.
Got it.
Except that your ultimate charges insanely fast. So let's say you're McCree, you can, I think it's right click somebody, use your ult, use an ability and right click again, and then use your ult again. Like that's so fast. If you're Tracer, it's basically you get a pulse bomb almost per like clip of ammo that you fire out at enemies. So it's insanely overtuned currently.
Yeah. That sounds
so that's
fun.
going to get turned down. She's an interesting character though. She can pretty much fly, copy stuff. She's a DPS character, which people are a little not happy about. They're hoping for.
Are they doing too many DPS characters and they want more support and tanks?
They were hoping for a support. Well, the last character we got was a tank. Right. So people were hoping for a new support character rather than a DPS character. But we got a DPS character. So what are you going to do?
I mean, that game needs more support and tank characters because the current meta is just fail.
It needs more support characters. I don't think you want to push
tanks
too much because they keep pushing tanks that are shield-based tanks, which is not a great thing to do because you just have people loading up on shields. Like if you run like there have been professional comps where it's like 3 shield tanks and it's just to play against, right? So especially when you're trying to push into a point. So I'd like to see tanks that are in the Roadhog vein where they don't make
a shield for everyone else.
Yeah, a shield. Like it's like they're considered your off tanks. So those, I'd like to see more of those tanks.
Right.
I'd like to see more various types of support characters because the support characters are really interesting in that game, and there's a lot of design space they can kind of move around into that I'd like to see explored. Other than Warzone, new Overwatch news. Oh yeah, Neo 2 came out.
It did, and I'm still too broke.
Yeah, I know that's a game that Comfy wants to really dive into. They added a character creator to it.
Did you play the first one?
I did not.
I didn't either.
Apparently the second one is supposed to be better from what I've heard.
Cool.
The first one kind of like came out and was kind of underground and was like there, and it was like, look, it's Japanese Dark Souls. It's like, okay.
We also had Bless Unleashed come out.
Yeah,
that's on Xbox. I've been seeing a ton of people play it.
Yeah, I did some streams for that as well. Fun when it's not lagging.
Yeah.
That is when I was filling out like the paperwork for it and submitting all my like times and stuff, they were like, "Do you have anything that you want to tell the devs?" And I was like, "Listen, the game is good. The game is not the issue. Fix the lag."
Yeah, it's the server lag. Yeah.
Fix the lag. Like I couldn't fast travel. I couldn't talk to people, NPCs that I needed to talk to, which for an MMO seems kind of important. So I was just like, hey guys, could you like please just get better servers and it'll be
I'm trying to
worth.
convince my dog that he's not allowed to have my cabbage and turnip.
Yep.
Because that's what I'm eating, and he's like, hey.
Man, turnips, fun. So,
Genshin Impact beta also happened.
oh yeah,
Yes,
that
the Genshin
seems
Impact beta happened.
very
I gotta go back and
waify.
watch streams of that. I
Yeah.
missed the people streaming it. So Char
was-
and Goth were playing it. Yes.
Yeah.
What else? The Blue Protocol beta is coming out soon.
Soon.
So that should be interesting. Though I think this particular one is limited to Japan. They did announce though that the game is going to go for worldwide release, so we will be getting it here in the East. Great, having an actual good anime-based MMO will be pretty nice. We don't really get a lot of those.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's the new season of Diablo launched. So I've been playing a bit of that. Look, I'm only Paragon level like 600. Not that much.
Only. I don't know what like the max is. It probably isn't a max.
There is no
you max out.
Yeah.
You max out your stats at like 800.
And then you just keep leveling up beyond that. Cool.
Yeah,
Yep.
because it's 4 stats of 50 and 4 different trees, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And then after that, it's just bragging rights.
Yeah.
Yeah, at that point, it's just bragging rights.
Look at my
trying to get
number.
I'm trying to get everything done for the season.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to go through and get like the whole journey thing done to unlock the extra storage space, as well as get the new pet that's up there for grabs.
Yeah, I
So
might try to do it. I don't know. We'll see. I won't commit
think I
to it,
have-
but
I have like 4 things left to do complete, and that's it for the whole journey for
Yeah.
the season. So I'm almost completely done. One of them, 2 of them are kind of iffish, and you're going to need a group for. One is the boss rush, where you have to kill like this list of bosses in 20 minutes of starting like a run. And then the other one is killing 350 enemies on Torment 10 or higher for a Cursed Chest. So, Cursed Chest, you don't have a lot of time to do them in, like they're a timed event. So you have to kill 350 guys during that time, so it's just easier with a group. So, I am probably going to get Drake and Shark to help me with those. And I've been triggering Shark with my luck today, which is great.
Wow. I was just playing Diablo with you, and I'm not invited. Wow.
I mean, I
Not
wasn't
level-
invited either.
You're not leveled
Wow.
up. Like that's like the full thing. You're
Wow.
literally not high enough like gear stuff to be able to do those. Drake and Shark are. Plus, they also need to get them done.
hmm
Well,
Mm.
so Kami, you know how Diablo works with like the goblins and that, right?
Yep, I sure
So-
do.
Earlier this week, I hit a rainbow goblin during the season. Today, playing with Dale, we hit a menagerie goblin, a rainbow goblin, and a random vault portal
How?
in like less than an hour.
What? I assume that you had then got the secret cow level? Like
No,
right
we-
afterwards?
We had to stop playing because we had to do the podcast.
hmm
And before he's actually playing Diablo right now and he's in the secret cow level.
You might be.
I would be like DMing pictures of that to like Drake and Shark. Drake did get the cow level this week though.
Nice.
So-
I think I've only seen the cow level once.
I've had it once.
Like honestly, I get the vault a lot. The random
Yeah.
vault portals. I
The
get those a
vault
lot.
is not as rare. The rainbow goblins are super rare though. They have like a 2% chance to spawn. So hitting 2 within like I think 3 days of each other was kind of nice. We did not get the rainbow wings though. I kind of wish I did because I would be slapping those on and dancing around Shark the whole time every time I saw him. Because you can only get them in Whimsydale and they're super rare drops at that.
So I just loaded into a new island on Animal Crossing and there's bamboo everywhere and I'm super happy.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm going to be playing more of that today for sure. I didn't play a ton yesterday. I got my island a little bit set up like for the first day, and then started watching Beastars with a girlfriend on Netflix. We binged like 9 episodes in a row. So it's an interesting show. When we first started the show off, a warning pops up in the top corner about nudity and smoking. Smoking of all things.
Oh no, not
So,
those
not smoking.
things.
I'm like,
those are
why is there a
terrible.
nudity warning on this anime that's on Netflix that stars animal people?
Oh god, wait.
And...
oh no.
So it turns out like the main character, like your 2 main characters are a wolf. Like he's the main guy you follow around. He's a gray wolf. And then the other people, there's this super kind of stuck up deer character, and there's the rabbit you see in all the programming as well, who's a all white dwarf rabbit who is 100% a slut. Like, literally, she thinks anytime a guy is nice to her, it's because they're trying to sleep with her, and then she has sex with them.
Jeez. Hey. Oh well, hang on.
Suddenly very interested in this show.
Oh man.
I'll be right back.
Like, you find this out because like she's being, like, they show a little bit of her being bullied by another rabbit character and some roommates, and she's mad. Like the other rabbit is mad at her. The other rabbit is a harlequin rabbit and is mad at her because the harlequin rabbit's boyfriend broke up with her, because he's got a thing for the dwarf money. And she's like, look, it's not my, like, he's the one who kissed me. It's not my fault that, a little peck, got him so turned on, like, that he broke up with you. That's not my issue. That's your thing to go deal with. Which, would be true in the case. Then you find out, like, then the episode, like, the show goes on, and the wolf has to go talk to her with an anteater, because they're in the drama club, and she is the only member.
Wait, is this in high school?
Yes, and she's the only member of the floral club. So they need flowers for one of their shows. They go there to ask the floral club for some flowers. The anteater recognizes who she is, and so makes an excuse to leave, because the school's kind of split into 2 groups. You have the carnivores and the herbivores. So she's known among the herbivores as being a slut and aggressive about it, and so he freaks out and leaves, leaving the wolf there, who is socially awkward. And so he asks about the flowers. He says, well, I can't give them to you for free. You'll have to do something for me first, and asks him to do some heavy lifting around the club, which is okay. So then they go into like the shed area that she has there. And he starts, to ask her about the flowers, because that's what he's, kind of there for. And she's like, oh, I guess you really kind of are like the other guys, so this is all you want, and then strips. And he's like, what the fuck? And freaks out because, unprovoked, this girl's like, oh, okay, I guess what you want is sex, that's fine. Let's just fuck then. And you find out that, that's something she just kind of does, and it's like, okay, this is
Maybe
a very strange...
a little too harsh on this show.
This is a very strange turn of events.
What, just...
Like, it is out. It is like you were not expecting it. It is like this. It's like the 3rd episode of Interspecies of Viewers with the left turn it takes. Like, you're not seeing it coming, and it's like turn. You're like, what the fuck?
It's like, so yeah, hey, I can see a lot of this coming, but man, we just got wild here at the end.
Yeah, and it's honestly, it's like the animation takes a little getting used to because it is 3D animated. It's not in a typical 3D style. It's a very stylized animation for it, which works really well. But the show's actually pretty good. It does address a lot of questions you would have if a world was populated by like anamorphic animals. Because you have herbivores and carnivores, and it goes through and mentions certain things in the world building, such as it being illegal for carnivores to bare their teeth at herbivores, because that's a threat type of thing. Being overly aggressive and violent is like super frowned upon if you're a carnivore, because it scares the herbivores.
Basically, a lot of rules in place for carnivores.
And some of the biggest crimes are committed where people are devoured, right? You have literally carnivores who are murdered by being eaten by like other animals, right? So it's like, well, shit.
Yeah.
Right. There's this. Then they mentioned at one point there's like this whole black market which, rather than selling drugs, sells meat.
I was gonna say, like, they're just gonna sell animal meat, right?
Yeah, they sell animal meat, and it's mentioned that most of it is procured from places such as hospitals or funeral parlors. But you also then like later learn that there's things like children who are sold there to be eaten, who are never taught to like speak or anything like that. So, like, there's some really fucked up shit in this world that would make actual sense in a world like this. They do a really good job of world building, surprisingly enough.
Interesting.
So it's definitely worth the watch. I would say it is on Netflix now. So it is what is Netflix likes to call it, a Netflix original.
Netflix original, as in we bought the rights to it.
Yeah, we bought the rights to display the show. So and my dog is quietly crying at me from behind me.
All right. Well, welcome to the whatever show that was podcast.
That's Beastars. It is an anime.
It's an anime.
It is a very messed up anime, but it is an anime. It's not what I expected whatsoever. In terms of that type of show. Like, I was expecting something more in the lines of Zootopia, and it went more in the lines of Animal Farm. So, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Ooh, what the hell?
I don't think we got any other giant news.
Yeah.
I don't think anything else, really.
So next week we're going to be covering Darwin's Game.
Yes.
Yeah.
First 3 episodes of that, and hopefully the last episode of Inspector.
God,
it's the last episode.
I really hope they don't get a second season with that show. I know that's mean to the people who worked on it, but fuck.
It's not good.
No.
It's boring. It's so boring. Like, there's not a lot going on.
The pacing is so bad in that show. I want to know, like, now
I'm legitimately interested in the concepts of it.
Like, the show is based on a series of light novels, right?
Yeah.
I think. Okay. So if it doesn't cover the whole thing, I wonder if they only had the ability to do like the first few arcs and just kind of had to draw stuff out. Because I think if they'd taken more of the story arcs and put them into a season and paced it better, this would have been a better show.
These last 3 episodes could have been 1.
Yes. Yeah.
And the 3 before that could have been 1. Like, and that sounds mean, but like, oh my God, it could have been 1. We didn't need that much.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's how it be sometimes. Alright. Well, then that's it. We're done.
That is pretty much everything for this week. We'll be back next week. We'll be watching the final episode of a Thank God show and watching Darwin's Game, which we hope is good. There's been a good buzz.
I have seen the episodes. I enjoy it. The first word of warning: the first episode's 40 mintes. BT dubs.
Okay, so it's a longer first episode. It's a setup episode.
Yeah,
okay.
It does. The first episode of Darwin's Game in 40 minutes covers more than the entire season of Inspector so far.
Oof.
That's a meme, but also Lamau. So, and Pingu's in chat saying Darwin's Game is good, IMO.
Okay.
Okay. All right. I'll trust the penguin.
Yeah, not me, because I have terrible taste. But
okay. All right. That'll do it. Next week to Darwin's Game. Where can everybody find everybody?
You can find me on the internet. I'm Comfimus everywhere.
Copper's also on the internet. And
yes,
then
I'm Locked in Atlantis. You can find me on the internet on copperlinedesigns.com or Copperline Art, Copperline Designs on Instagram and Twitter, respectively.
Mm-hmm. Then
Dale, I believe you function on the internet too.
Yes, you can find me at mixer.com/Mr. Vengeance, where I stream most days, as well as on Instagram and Twitter at Mr. Vengeance TV. Thanks for joining this week. We'll see you next time. Have good nights.